Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with one of 6 collectibles and your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece McNuggets with spicy Nether Flame sauce. Now available with a Minecraft movie meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, a Minecraft movie only in theaters.
Welcome into MTP Boston. It's Mike Marcangelo, joined alongside by my guy, Hollywood Rayshon Buchanan. And on this week, we're talking another historic Patriots loss, and we're talking about the in-season tournament and our Boston Celtics. But before we get into the fun stuff, we'll start with the misery as always. Ray, the Patriots lose 6-0 to the LA Chargers. It's a historic week in the sense that they are the first team since the 1938 Chicago Cardinals to hold their opponents to 10 points or less in 3 straight games and be 0-3. So I don't know how to open it besides with that. What did you see, if you even watched?
No, I watched because it was before I went to work for the Bruins game last night, and I kind of figured it would end, on early or on time, so I was like, I could watch this whole game before I go. And someone was worried when I think LA had a chance to go up 10-0, and they didn't score, and they got the field goal and make it 3. I said that literally might be the game, and they're like, "Nah." I'm telling you, the way things have been going, it's been a microcosm of this year that the defense has showed up for a majority of these games, and the offense continues to output nothing. So flabbergasted. I can't say I'm flabbergasted. I can't say I was shocked. Once again, because I am gunning for a top 2 pick, I was pleased that they held true to form and didn't win. And once again, that's crazy, right? When you set up off 1938, my grandmother's favorite movie, Gone with the Wind, had not even came out yet. Came out a year later.
Right.
In line. So that reference I got. For those who've been listening lately, I've been fucking up with references. That's correct. Gone with the Wind came out in 1939. Shout out to my guy Clark Gable. I know for sure that movie came out then because I've seen it a 1,000 times. So quite frankly, fans that say I fuck up the references, I don't give a damn.
I mean,
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
aside from your horrific movie references recently, whether it's Star Trek or A November to Remember, this performance was not a game for Bailey Zappi fans or for Patriot fans to remember. No. I think the big thing that came out of this game was Ramondre Stevenson and what looked to be a pretty good drive in the first quarter. Right. I thought he broke his ankle. I mean, it's good that the X-rays are negative, but isn't that just like the Patriots season right now? I mean, any contributor, and there haven't been many, they get injured, and we're left with Devontae Parker going for 4 for 64, and that's our shining star.
It was crazy. It could have been 6 for almost 100, but he dropped a few.
It should have been. It could have been 9 for 120 because he had 9 targets. But this is the first full game of the year that we have not seen Mac Jones. So, how do you think the offense looked with Bailey Zappi under center?
There was times where there was a little bit more juice, but not to the point where obviously they were going to score. Obviously, that resulted in no score. He made some throws that I think he can make, honestly. And those end cuts, I think he can make those type of throws. But he definitely, snuck a few in there, and I was like, oh, okay, like that had a little sauce to it. So, but I mean, nevertheless, I mean, it's funny. Tyquan Thornton only produces when Bailey Zappi's on the field. I don't know why. Well, if you go back to the Cleveland game last year, Tyquan Thornton had his best game as a rookie. He had his best game this season yesterday with Zappy at quarterback. So I don't know what it is, but if Zappy's out there, you can rest assured that number 11 is going to have
0 catches for 0 yards on 1 target.
So, I'm saying he had that 40-yard run. I'm saying so he only makes an impactful play or plays when Zappy's out there. Is what I'm saying. Not necessarily with the catch. He even though he caught a few of them last year from Zappy, if I'm not mistaken. But it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, but like you said, with the Stevenson going down, like it's a microcosm of what's been happening this season. So with the Stevenson now, Gonzo, Judon, and really we don't. I mean, Kendrick Bourne, those guys were going to be key contributors, as you mentioned. And like I said, we didn't see them. We haven't seen them the whole season.
I felt like in this game, Bailey Zappi proved that he deserves to be a backup.
Yeah.
I don't know that I walked away from this game and said, wow, he's like so much better than Mac. He should be a starter. I didn't. Did you feel that at all? Like you have one full game, and I would say that this is a pretty good litmus test. Like, do you think this game should mean that Bailey Zappi should be the starter moving forward?
I would say let's see what happens Thursday night. Right, short week.
Yeah,
another week to prepare. Like I said, we'll get into that later on as the show progresses. But yeah, let's see Thursday. I know fans are like yourself, me, many others are clamoring for Willie Cunningham to finally get a shot. To me, I think this would be the perfect time, in my opinion. That's just me. But that's a whole nother, maybe story for another day. But yeah, once again, there was some good things out there. Like I said, there was some time they were able to move the ball better than they did. He didn't turn the ball over, so that alone, I think it was a plus for a lot of Patriots fans yesterday. For those that have been screaming, was happy to be the guy. So yeah, so I mean, like I said, there was some good throws there, but as it was said on another show, and I thought this was true. Like the first half seemed very sped up. Like first half was just, and it's kind of like that's what it was last year too, right? I felt like he's much better in the second half of the games than he is in the first half, except for the Chicago game, right? Because he got thrown into the fire there, and then he ultimately had the same fate as Mac that night. But yeah, I think that he gets better as the game progresses, and but yeah, I think that if he goes 17-24, 225, a touchdown, and no turnovers again, then yeah, he solidified himself as the backup going forward.
So in this game against what is normally a high-powered LA Charger offense, the defense, I don't know how to look at this. I don't know if we should grade it positively or if it's a false positive. But they held that team to 6 points, right? 2 field goals. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, you name it on that offense. And I mean, they couldn't score against us,
right? But and people want to joke about it. I'm like, no, that's once again, most of the defense is healthy. That's legit. That's legit. And once again, you lost Judon, you lost Gonzo, and you're still shutting down teams. Once again, the Chargers have put up 30 this year. Other teams they have held on to 15 points have put 30 or 25 on other teams, and they come in here and they're not scoring on that defense. Once again, Miami has the most high-powered offense this league has seen in a long time, even better than Kansas City, in my opinion. Maybe to me they mirror what well, they weren't LA then, but what St. Louis was doing with the greatest show on earth, with Isaiah Hakeem, Marshall Faulk, obviously, you name it, right? Torrey Holt and the crew. That's what they look like. So, they held them to 24. Once again, obviously the Dallas game got away from them, the Saints game got away from them, but a lot of those that was pick sixes, there were fumbles. So when it plays straight up, they're shutting people down, and if there's anything that should make someone mad as a fan of New England, it's that. Because you're literally 3 to 4 plays from being 500 right now, and then that's the wild part. Once again, you weren't going to be 8-4 or 10-2. That wasn't happening. But you're literally 3 or 4 plays from being 6-6.
I mean,
it's wild.
The thing that stuck out to me most about this game, again, was just like what you said, is this defense, they look disciplined, right? We're not seeing a ton of penalties on the defensive side like we are on offense and special teams. If you are a believer in the fact that that Bill will probably be gone after the season, shouldn't his defense now give whatever team out there say, okay, this guy can still do it? We just need to give him a ready-made offense, and that way he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, great. Take him. That's fine.
Well, he's got. I mean, he. I mean, the reporters are on to him now. I mean, now they're hammering him down at Foxborough after games. So they're being
and they should. Thank you, Mike Reese. Thank you, Mike Giardi. Thank you, Phil Perry. Thank you, Tommy Curran. Thank you, Ken Garigian, who's a friend of the show. Need to have you back on soon because listen, you were a lot closer to predictions than we were, sister. So we gotta have you back on to for you to have your victory lap there in that regard. But yeah, I'm glad that they're grilling him and drilling him, and they're on his case because as they should. Once again, it's cute when you're 14-2 every year, or 11-6, whatever, 12-5, whatever. That's fine. You get away with that. But someone has to be held accountable for this 2-10 year. And yes, some of it's on the players. The players have to execute whether you have a game plan or not. But then the coaches have to push you in position to be successful. They have not done that, and that starts with him. Period.
So again, another week. I mean, this week was awful. Obviously, no points being scored.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all on Billy O'Brien?
It's got to be, because once again, you can have the scheme all day. Maybe it's 90% him, 10% players. Who knows? I mean, whatever way you want to divvy it up is up to you.
Let me ask you this question: If they had, let's just call it Michael Pittman as a wide receiver, everyone else was the same, and they had Samuel Laporta as a tight end, and same scheme, how much better would it look?
A lot better.
So could it? So knowing that or feeling that way, can you actually say that this is 90% O'Brien?
Well, the reason why I say that is because what adjustments has he made? That's my thing. It doesn't look like he's made any adjustments. One thing, cater to what you had there, or what you had there. It should be a lot of short throws, and I felt like they're still trying to go down the field. And I'm like, what are we doing? Let Zappy or whoever's in there be checked down Charlie to get us all the way to the end zone. I don't care if you have a 12 play drive for 80 yards and it took 8 minutes. I don't care as long as you find a way to score. Like teams, a lot of teams now, we got to score, 5 plays, 65 yards in 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. No, I don't care. I don't care if it's a long drive. That's fine. That's giving that defense rest, right? Because that's the key. Give that defense rest because the defense has been shutting people down. Give the defense rest, but once again, they'll do a draw. Maybe like a middle screen, and then they'll do play action to a seam route or to a go route, and teams are not even biting. They're showing their original coverage. That part's on Bill O'Brien, that is, make adjustments, and I feel like he hasn't made them, in my opinion.
But I mean, devil's advocate, isn't it too much? I guess why would they assume that Billy O'Brien could make chicken salad out of this chicken shit of a roster when he never had in the past? You're going to say Houston with some idiot as quarterback. Yeah, he was thrown to D-Hop. I mean, that made things easier.
That wasn't his whole time there, though. Like, I felt like, now granted, to his credit, did he have Matt Schaub there when he got there?
He had Brian Hoyer, Matt Schaub, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then Deshaun Watson.
Okay, so not world beaters at quarterback. I mean, so you get to Watson when he was there in Houston,
but always had D-Hop.
Sure, but I'm like, Will Fuller always injured, right? And that was supposed to be their number 2. Really never had a tight end to speak of there. And then the running backs were kind of so. So. And they found a way to win divisions. They found a way to get some type of points on the board. It wasn't something where they were scoring 30 a night, but they were in that 22 to 25 range. And once again, they were in that 20 to 25 range here. And once again, you're looking at a 6-6 team here, despite what's going on. And once again, I'm glad it's not 6-6 because once again, to be in the 106, what you get to the first round, you get 9-8, and then you get, you lose 47-17 like you did a few years ago. For what? Go just bottom out because because once again, I want Patriots fans to understand this shit was inevitable, right? To me, it should happen right in 2020. You should have just tanked right then and there. I get it. Ego-wise, you couldn't do it because it's like, well, damn, Brady goes out there, he goes to Tampa, brings the football version of the Avengers down there. They run roughshod, they win the Super Bowl. Smack Kansas City. You're like, damn, like what now? But it's like my thing is, it was you operated off of what he was doing down there. You should have just did what you should have did up here, build your team, and then now you're a contender for the next 5 to 6 years. But you chose not to, and now you're looking crazy.
One of my most favorite memories of this show or any incarnation is when you said you had one NFL MVP go down there, one NFL MVP come up here, and the one that went down there is lighting it up. Ball game.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Let's bring that one up. I forgot about that one, but yeah. Yeah.
Back to the original question though. Doesn't the fact that O'Brien was able to win the division or at least make the playoffs in the AFC South while he was down there with all those, we'll call them shitbag quarterbacks aside from Watson, because he had a number one. Doesn't that give you more reason that you should, right now we're sitting at the number 2 overall pick, if the season were to end today, shouldn't you draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? Shouldn't you? Like, isn't that
okay. So all right, so let's go that route, right? So I think there's a lot of people that agree with your sentiment you just made. So okay, fine. You draft Harrison Jr. at 2. Cool. So who's the QB? Who you drafted in the second round? Who think is going to be there? Because you need one. I'm sorry. You got to walk away out of here with a quarterback. So if it's not Mayo Williams, are you hoping that Penix is there in the second round? Are you hoping that JJ McCarthy is there maybe in the third round? Are you hoping for that? Because if not, it's like what are we doing?
No, I hear you. And I don't think Max should be the guy next year. Bailey shouldn't be the guy. Bailey could be a good backup.
You cannot go back to Mac Jones after what's going on this year. I'm sorry, you just can't. And it's not, and I will say it's not all on him, but it's just it's time for a fresh start. Like once again, unless you're saying it's Marvin Harrison Jr., you find a way to bring Pittman over here as well and another tight end. Then it's like, okay, now you have actual weapons. Let's see what you do. But that's a worst case scenario for me. Worst case scenario. I want a new quarterback in here badly.
Yeah, badly. I mean, I really wish there was something that could happen that would make Jaden Daniels fall to the second round, but it's not going to.
Yeah, I mean, he played too good. That's the problem. Yeah, and once again, blame my Florida Gators. He tore us apart, and it was like, oh, he's really good. Yeah. And because of Billy Napier can't, his defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. That's what made him look like even better than what he was. So, I don't know, but I'll put it like this: if you're telling me that you get Harrison Jr. at 2, and then at the top of the second round you get Michael Penix Jr., okay, I'm fine with that. I will take that. Because I said James Daniels not gonna fall that far now. Not right. He's played that well. So if it's Harrison Jr. and Penix, okay, cool, all right, I'll take that. Or like I said, if McCarthy fell to the early third, I don't feel like he goes before then. If he falls to the third round, okay, cool.
So gun to head, do you think if they have a top 2 pick, right? Well, or top 3 pick, based on recent history and also let's just call it like the last 30 years of history in the NFL, but based on where the NFL is also trending right now,
but
is it better to have the number 1 or number 2 quarterback, or is it better to have the number 1 wide receiver? And people are saying that that Marvin Harrison Jr. is a transcendent talent, right? So, and like again, gun to head, knowing what you know about 2023 or 2024, moving forward in the NFL, what's most important?
So it's probably the wide receiver. Like say you said Gus to the head, probably the wide receiver. I just once again we know because we've seen it up here. Like the quarterback means so much, but like I said in today's game, but that's the problem. I don't want them to get a guy like Bo Nix just because you just put someone back
Right.
there.
Yeah.
I got an issue with that. Now once again, if you're telling me that Bo Nix is going to look exponentially better because he has Marvin Harrison Jr., cool. But I'd personally be sick to my stomach if Bo Nix is drafted by New England Patriots.
Same.
Sick to my stomach.
Yeah. I think it's either going to be May, Williams, or Harrison. Right now, it's a matter of. I think I said a couple of weeks back on the show is that where we are now, I think a transcendent and a transformational wide receiver makes your entire offense better.
Yeah.
It takes. I mean, because if we take off, what we've seen so far this season, do we think that Kendrick Bourne would be a good number 3? Yeah,
absolutely.
Great number 3.
Absolutely. But he wants to be here. Like
right.
That's like that matters to me, especially in this era where it's like people want to jump ship and go. Like Kendrick Bourne is definitively said, "I want to be part of the solution. I'm here for it." And fans love him here. Listen. Yeah, you keep him. Yes, you keep him. Absolutely. And I know there's been nothing to support it this year. But we've seen it in other places where he's been in number 2. I firmly believe that Juju could be a great number 2. I really do.
Exactly.
He just has to, like I said, it has to be next to number 1. But my thing is, I'm still signing Michael Pittman, even if I get Harrison Jr. I'm still looking to sign Pittman. I'm still looking to sign somebody in that to bring them over to be the X receiver.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So you got to bring a stack, and then if you can find a way to get you, I mean, to me, I'd bring Hunter Henry back too. Once again, I think that he's been. Yeah. He's embodied what it meant to be a Patriot. He's been a great team player. I'd bring. That's what I'm saying. So I'd bring Henry back. You do need a secondary tight end, right? So I don't know if you go get that in the draft. Ironically, I like the kid from Colorado, but I think he's a little too small. I think his name is Michael something. Is it Michael Harrison, Michael Williams, something like that? But I like his game. He's a little too small for what they usually go for up here. But once again, you need guys that are shiftier. You need the Travis Kelce type tight ends in this league now. So I don't know.
But even let's just say the worst case scenario, right, is Marvin Harrison Jr. They do what you say. They get Pittman. So you get Harrison, Pittman, Juju, and Kendrick Bourne. That's your starting 4 wide receivers. Hunter Henry, maybe if you want to bring Dissect back for $1 million again or 5, whatever the hell it is, sure, great. So those are your 2 tight ends, and then you build the lineup because again, I want to make sure that all Patriots fans know this. You will have $90 million of cap space.
Yep,
that's a fucking lot of money to spend.
It is,
right?
fact. It is.
And so if you go get yourself just two linemen that are not good, but that are great, your line's going to be fortified. And then if you want to say, you know what, I'm against this. I can't believe I'm even saying it, but Mr. Cousins, if you want to come here for 3 years and $75 million or 3 years and $90 million, here you go. Because I think that team with this defense and a quarterback like that would be like, you saw what Joe Flacco looked like with fucking Cleveland. The guy can't move. Kirk Cousins is better than Joe Flacco. He didn't win a Super Bowl, but I would say his talent wise is better.
Yeah.
And this guy hasn't played in, I guess the Jets last year, but really since he was a starter for the Broncos a couple years back. And he stood there with cement in his shoes and just chucked the ball across the field.
Well, I mean, he's always had one of the best arms this league has ever seen. Denver Bronco fans know. They know.
They do.
So I had to put that out there, but they know. And to a lesser degree, we know too, because he got a couple against us too. So, obviously he's not the guy that he was then. But yeah, he's always been able to sling it, always. And once again, they have guys there, the Harrison Bryants, the Amari Coopers, they got some weapons there. So
right. So you can build it that way. All right. So before we talk about the Patriots Thursday night matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the game in which Amazon Prime did not know who would be starting quarterbacks for the Patriots, so they just put every Patriot player out there. Is there one winnable game left on the schedule for the Patriots this season? I'm not saying I don't know if you want them to win it, but
honestly, I thought it was the one that we just played, and I told some of my friends that I'm in another Patriots group chat with. I said, don't be surprised when we win that game against the Chargers. I said, because he's always stymied Justin Herbert. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. And people thought they thought I was crazy because it was, oh no. I mean, granted, obviously they ended up winning the game, but I'm like, Justin Herbert did nothing against Bill once again. It's kind of like the young Peyton Manning. Like he owns Justin Herbert right now. And I'm not sure that he'll figure out Bill while he's in the league. But I guess the winnable game is the Jets at the end of the season, right? I mean, once again, some people made a joke and say it's Pittsburgh, but I'm like, I know they had Mitchell Trubisky in there, but he's better than any quarterback we have on the roster currently, and that's saying a lot because he's not great in his own right. But they lose to Kansas City. They who else they have interested? Do they have Buffalo?
The Broncos.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the Broncos are a much better team than when they were, earlier in the season, obviously. So they're no longer a get right team. Like they've become more formidable. So it's that Chiefs, Broncos, and then
Bills.
it is the Bills one more time. Okay, so that's a loss. So it's like I feel like the Jets game may be the only winnable game they do. Hopefully, them winning it won't change the draft position if that's the case. But we're looking at Carolina, some other teams to falter, but those teams are so bad as well that they can't find a way to win. So we have to keep losing in order to maintain our draft position.
So knowing that the Arizona Cardinals just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers to help us again, that's great.
Yeah.
What are you looking for in this? Because you and I have a lot of things in common, but one of the most prominent things is we love trolling Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Yes,
because they talk shit to us. They always have the last 20 years, but they haven't won a damn thing against us in the last 20 years. Didn't matter if it was Brady, Castle, Cam, Mac. Doesn't matter.
Right, correct.
That ends this Thursday, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But quite frankly, we needed to end third. Like we need that greatness to come up. Like we need that. And I know it's on a short week for them. I know that they, Kenny Pickett went down. But they still got Najee Harris, still got George Pickens, still got Deontay Johnson, still got Minka Fitzpatrick. They still have a lot of guys that make plays there. So absolutely. Once again, but I will say this: if you can't beat this iteration of the Patriots, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. You don't deserve to do anything. I'm just being honest. So Leah, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry. Because we care about you as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'm sure you would echo this sentiment if you could. If that Steelers team could not beat this New England team, something wrong with that picture, big time.
It just feels like this is the first time since I've known you that you're not actively rooting for the Patriots against the Steelers because of what the implications would be for the
right. Because what it means, What it means, I mean, listen, when we tape next week, but will I still smile if we absolutely, because it allows me to still say, damn, even when we're at our lowest of lows, you still can't do anything, And it's like that would be gratifying, but it'd be more gratifying to hear, that your New England Patriots are now 2-11 on the season and lost 6 straight. That's what I'd rather hear. And that's what I should hear on after Thursday night.
We're going to assume that the over-under for this game, like as it gets closer to game time,
Might be 21.
it's probably going to be like 28 points.
Yeah.
I'm
That's too high.
I'm still hammering the under.
Yeah, 20 is too high.
Poor Al Michaels. He gets another shitty Thursday night football game to call, because
he hasn't been great in a few years, in my opinion.
Well, what's he been given? Kirk Herbstreit and
no, I know, but I don't know. I just he's. I mean, I ironically I liked him and Chris together.
NBC wanted him out. He didn't want to leave.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, Mike Tirico's awesome, but it's just like, I don't know. He hasn't been the same, obviously, but I'm sure Amazon gave him a lucrative deal, and what he deserves, especially at this stage of his career. So
I do love listening to him during games where like it's clearly just a terrible product on the field, because he tells the people at home this is a terrible product. He didn't care.
Yeah, facts.
What's your final score prediction for this Thursday night?
Pittsburgh 13, New England 6.
I'm going to say Pittsburgh 12, New England 3.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a real fucking barn burner, people.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people, once again, we can joke all day. The defense has not quit. They haven't. We can say whatever they want about the offense. You can say what you want about the coaching staff or whatever. Which Bill kind of alluded to in his presser yesterday. I think that he's still very proud of the defense. He just knows that they are inept with all capital letters on offense, and for whatever reason, and I got to say this only because it's you and me on the show, and I was jokingly saying it, but now I got some more juice, some more gumption behind it. Remember when I jokingly said we owe Matt Patricia an apology, and you said fuck no? Yeah. They've been much like
let me
worse on a Bill O'Brien than Matt Patricia, and that's wild. It's wild.
Let me reiterate it. Let me reiterate it too. Fuck no.
That's no. Crazy. That's crazy. Well, why they look better last year with Matt Patricia than they do now? Why is that? Tell me why. Tell me why. I can't believe. I got a bunch. I've had a bunch of heartbreak this year, so I want to know why. Why is it that way, Mr. Marcangelo? Why is it that way?
You can't be coming here quoting the Backstreet Boys to me. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you that the offensive line was falling off the cliff at the end of last year. And what did Bill do? He went off and got 3 offensive linemen that haven't played all year. So it's even worse this year. We thought we had bad weapons with John Smith, Nelson Aguilar. Turns out they're not that terrible. They're gone, and we have less. We didn't backfill them. Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyreek Hill has 350 more yards receiving this year than the Patriots skill players. I mean, and you want, and again, I'm just going to hammer my point home. You say what happened? Ramondre Stevenson was 1,000-yard rusher last year.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Harris was a pretty good backup.
Oh yeah, you know how I feel about him. Yeah.
And he went from averaging 4.2 yards per carry to 2.7. So that'll do it. I mean, that'll fucking do it. If a defense doesn't have to fear your running game because your offensive line is so bad, and we already knew what our quarterback, what his weaknesses were coming into the season, it was easy. It was fucking easy for them.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but like that's just what it's become. But like I say, it blows my mind that they were, like I said, considerably, more formidable against, I put on air quotes, against other teams last year.
I will say though, it does look more like an NFL offense pre-snap than it did last year.
Right, but I had a really wild line I was about to say, but I'm not going to say. The pre-snap, I mean, great, but it's just like, what are you doing once you're in it? Because once you're in it, it's like, all right, you're moving it and shaking and moving, and it's like dudes are literally making. This is literally the separation. Like, this is how close. Like, see, quarterbacks there, they go here, they're there, they go up there, they're here. It's just like, what are we?
Well, Tyquan Thornton can't. We don't know if he can catch. I don't really know if he can, but he definitely can't catch in the rain.
Douglas, that's what I forgot to say too. That throw that Zappy had to him.
It's a great throw.
was a great. I mean, I said, damn, but that's been for both quarterbacks. They've thrown some dimes when at certain moments this year, and you're just like you threw it in, like it's right there in the basket. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, Matt kicked.
It just fall through. But what I will say, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it go up and I'm seeing it throw it, I said, oh my god. And then I seen him drop it. I went, whew. I was like, we don't need any positive plays right now. we don't need to build confidence. They like, yeah, we got it. No, you don't got it. You still suck. As false hope. Let's just continue.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say it every single week and probably up until the draft. You do not want to you do not want to have a top 3 draft pick 2 years in a row. That just means that your franchise has fallen off. So you better, if you have a top 3, you better fucking spend in free agency this year too, because you need to get back. And I'm not saying get back to 6-11. You need to get back to being, 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, 11-6. Because if you have a top 3 pick and you spend and the results aren't there again with the new regime, that's going to get real bad here real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Who knows? I mean, once again, Robert Kraft came in with a number 1 pick. So, maybe history repeats itself. Because once again, Bledsoe was very good for us. So maybe it's time. Maybe it's time again. So we'll see.
All right, on to happier things. Since we last spoke, the Boston Celtics won out their week. They're now 15-4. Last week was it the quarterfinals of the in-season tournament, or to advance to the quarterfinals, they had to beat the Chicago Bulls by 22. They beat them by 27. As we are recording this on Monday, December 4th, currently this is the only update that we're going to give you. I'm going to give it to you. The Celtics are beating the Indiana Pacers at halftime, 55-48. So if this is no longer an evergreen podcast, so sorry, Craig. And the winner of this game obviously goes to Vegas next week. First thought, because it's the first time that we've talked about it. What are your thoughts now on the in-season tournament, but more specifically, the point differential being the thing that gets teams into the quarterfinals and into Vegas? Do you think that it's helped peak and elevate interest of late November, early December games, or what are your thoughts?
So I think that's got to change. I think that's a rule they have to change for next year. The analyst side says that, but the fan in me, stop them. Stop me, bitch. Stop me. Stop me from whipping your ass. Because that's what it was. That's what it was on Tuesday night. It was an ass when I was there, and you could tell from the jump. It was like, oh, they're going for this. I thought I was kind of skeptical. I was saying maybe they're gonna say, you know what, Porzingis was out the other day. He's out tonight. Let's just kind of regroup and just go for it. But they from the jump, you could tell it was like they was in go mode, and that's the most intentional game I've seen coached from Joe Mazzulla. So it gave me some confidence that when things are on the line, he can be a bit more formidable than he's been thus far. So yeah, but that's the only thing I would change if that was the case, because I felt like that. I understood what Jalen and Jrue Holiday was saying, where it's trying to take away from the integrity of the game, because you're being taught from a young age, don't disrupt your opponent. If you're up by 20 or whatever, the game's usually over. So that I got, but once again, from a fan side,
wasn't it? I mean, wasn't it fucking refreshing to see the Celtics dominate for all 4 quarters, and
yes.
to know that they could have let their foot off the gas. And again, it's just an in-season tournament. It's their first year of it, but they fucking cared. The thing that we talked about last week is I said this team might be the team that needs to win something.
Right.
Just to get the gears turning. And like to your point about the most intentional game coached by Mazzulla, he needs more reps doing this. Like games that matter without the ability to actually send us home for the offseason. I think I understand why fans and maybe even some players get upset about the point differential concept, but if not for the point differential concept, why what would you watch? Like, would you still be watching with as much intent as you were? Because I was watching that game, and then I was actually checking in with Brooklyn. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I know what Brooklyn needs to do.
Oh, they had it up. They didn't show it on TV, but they might have shown it on TV, but they had it up in the on a Titantron. That's Titantron. Shows where my mind is at. It's clobbering time. We've been on since then, so but no, but yeah, I don't know. I think to me, you're right though. It definitely piques more interest, and which is what they were looking to do. And once again, this is the iteration of it. The first iteration of it. Like they're going to, revamp, retool what needs to be done again. I should say, excuse me. And they'll come back with a different, look on it next year.
You think they're going to get rid of the point differential?
I think they'll strongly consider it. I think if enough players, bring it up, and because once again, too, like say I mean, granted, it didn't happen, but we would have been really upset if they was up 25 and another key player got hurt.
Yeah, so I think
that's what I'm saying. Like that would have been more catastrophic, and once again, people could get hurt at any point in the game. But I'm saying like the optics look worse when you're up
for sure,
and you have your starters out there, and it's just like, well, I think first thing I think about is Derrick Rose. I mean, I know that was the playoffs, but I'm like, you're up 24 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. They not winning this game.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's over. The game's over. So that's the only thing.
Yeah. So I think that you're right. That players complaining about like the sportsmanship of it, that's not going to be enough to get it to be changed. But it's going to take an injury to a Brown or a Tatum or a Giannis or a Lillard or one of your impact players while your team is already up, and then it's like, well, that was unnecessary and just derailed our entire season, right? But that hasn't happened, and I don't think point differential matters anymore. I think now it's just you win to advance, you lose, you go home.
Yep.
I'm okay with that being the tiebreaker. I think.
Yeah, no, that's what's cool about it. I'm hoping, like if they win tonight, I don't work Friday, so I'm especially rooting for them to win tonight. And it ties into what we talked about. Can you go 15-5 your first 20? And it's essentially, but I wasn't going 16-4 because that means I'm not working Friday. But if worst case scenario they go 15-5, that's okay. Well, that's what we talked about. We want them to go to 15. Can you go 15-5 4 different times? To win 60 games. So,
All right. So KP's still out with the calf injury. Now we're itching closer to he's missed 35% of the games played this year.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't going to play all 82. So that's why I'm not freaking out. I do think at this moment I think he was ready to come back to Chicago game, honestly. But not even Chicago. I think he came back to Philly game. I think they're just saying, hey, you know what? Like until it's fully healed, we'll give you some more treatment where you can do some more training on your lower body. I think it's a team doctor thing now. I think that they're just saying, hey, look, team is still rolling without you. I feel like if they were struggling, he would have been back out there. I do. But right now, because they've been steamrolling, and once again, Holiday came back. Holiday was out for a few games himself. I think they're really handling it with care, with kid gloves, if you will, and maybe he comes back for the Cleveland game next week. But I'd rather his injury be healed, than rushing him out there prematurely.
So, it doesn't sound like you're too concerned.
No, not right now. Anyway, it's like now if this is January 15th and he's only played another game or two, then it's like, yeah, okay, what's going on? Mainly because I just want them to have the best seed possible, and I want everyone to come through here. One, because I think they're much better now at home than they were last year. Like they're defending home court, they're undefeated at home. And then two, I get paid more. So and not because of a parlay, I get paid because I'll be in the building. So, yep,
not because of a parlay. All right, so a bumpy win would be the win that the Celtics had against the Philadelphia 76ers on was it Friday last week?
Yeah,
Friday.
probably that's all. Mhm.
Yep. So they beat the 76ers 125-119.
Mhm.
I did the win against Philly make you feel better or worse about the Celtics team? When I asked that question, I mean, we all have seen over the last, let's just call it in the JBJT era, when they're going against a team that's not starting their big guns, they let up they let their foot off the gas. Historically, they've lost those games.
Right.
They fought. I mean, they did what they needed to do to win this. So I think, I guess my question would be, does that win show growth from this team, or are you still worried that they fall into their old habits?
A little bit of both, but I'd rather them fall into the habit and still win
Yep.
than fall into the habit and lose. So, and listen, I wanna give some more nuggets to those that were out and enraged that or outraged that Pat Beverly had 26-75. So Pat Beverly's from Chicago, right? Played college at Arkansas, went undrafted in the league, started out, I think, either with Houston or Miami. In his senior year of high school, this man averaged 37 a night. Player of the year. And this is the same class as D Rose. Same class as D Rose. Down there. 37 a night. So everybody in the NBA, for the most part, buckets is a problem. So before, because I know people were like, and it was I made my jokes too, but I'm like, nah, that dude, for one, once again, anybody could be a star for a night or two. And he took his opportunity. I'm actually glad that he was feeling it, because I knew he was going to try to ISO Al, and I'm like, you're not James Harden. You're not going to make that shot over Al, and he didn't. Al comes down. I'll let you speak about Al, because you've made some good points about him lately. So I'll let you talk about him. But yeah, I'm like, he was hooping, and once again, give credit where it's due. I'm just glad they pulled out that victory though.
It just, Horford to me this year just feels like he's making all of the right plays and only the right plays. I mean, his vision on the floor has been outstanding. He's in that particular game, he was, I think his plus minus like plus 10, and he was a starter. So like that's and he scored 20 points.
Right.
Like he still has those spurts where now he doesn't have many 33-minute nights ahead of him. He has more of those behind him than in his future.
Right.
But that just tells you that if you play him 22 a night, he could still give you 12 and 6, 12 and 7 off the bench. And if he does that without making the fucking mistakes, like that is something that your bench will build around. And then you're gonna have guys like Hauser putting up 11 in that game, and Pritchard putting up 10, and they were very important 10. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it felt like that Horford, especially since KP's been out, but even when he's coming off the bench, like he feels like he's methodical. Everything he does has a purpose.
Yep. But honestly, he's been like that his whole career. We just didn't see it up close. It was in Atlanta, but I mean, once again, he's made the playoffs every year of his career except for the OKC year. He's been on teams that have been.
Jesus, is that true?
Just about. I mean, like someone could fact check me, but I think with the exception of his OKC year, he's been in playoffs every year, because think about it: 07, 08, 07. I mean, 08, 09. I know a few times they had Milwaukee in the first round. They had that good series with Washington right before he got here. They beat us before he signed here in 2016 when he was in Atlanta. Yeah. Then obviously his first year here, we make the playoffs every year that he's here. Then it's like, yeah, Philly, they make the first year, but we sweep them in the first round in the bubble. So yeah, I think I'm pretty confident on that stat. That I don't have in front of me, but I do think that he's either way, he's been in the postseason over 10 times, regardless.
Yeah.
So he was wrong by I missed one or two. He's been in the postseason over 10 times, and he's made multiple conference finals. He's been to the finals. He's a 2-time national champion. in with the Florida Gators. So yeah, and he's by far been the best player from that group that won. I know, people look at Joakim Noah or, the Corey Brewers of the world, but hey, 5-time All-Star, probably could have made it a couple more times in the East, but it didn't work out that way. But 5 times All-Star, been invaluable since he got here. Invaluable. So in both stints, he has embraced Boston, and because of that, Boston has embraced him. Kind of feels like a big Dustin Pedroia type
Yeah,
what type guy. Like I feel like that. That's why I'm like yes. And Tatum and Brown, I feel like they're gonna have more cracks because of their age. I want them to get one foul so he can go it on top, or if you can go
I
back to
agree.
back. Well, I want that so badly from him because he deserves it. Like I said, he's been the ultimate pro. Once again, he chose to come to Boston. Chose. Yeah,
He's
they
the
give
reason
him
that we could get
chose.
some actual big free agents or trades because he
Yep,
was the first one
yep,
in
yep,
the I would say ever, right, in free agency that wasn't like really
yep,
over the hill
yep.
that signed with us.
The biggest signing before Al Horford, and those that listen to this that watched this in the 90s, you know I'm not lying when I say this. The biggest free agent signing before then was Travis Knight. That's not an opinion.
What about
That's a
Dominique Wilkins?
no. I thought he got traded. That's why I asked for him to bring him up.
You might be right. Oh,
He said over the
you're
hill.
probably all right.
No, he was, but even then he was.
Over the
I mean,
hill.
they still made the playoffs. He still averaged 18 a night. And he was over there. So it's funny when I think about that too. Imagine if we got him a few years earlier.
Oh, with Larry and when everything was going well.
And I know that era. I know that era they didn't jump to that. They didn't like that. But whew,
Yeah.
man. That
We gotta get the whole crew together and do our top 5, like a game show of just what ifs, and we can have
yeah,
categories like that because that could be in there. Like what if
yeah.
he
So,
was what if he was there in '88?
our own version of the top 5.
Yeah,
That's a brown candy. Yeah,
yeah.
top 5 reasons why. Yeah,
So
that'd be great.
obviously, a lot of what could happen this week will be decided by tonight's game.
Mhm.
They're set to play Cleveland twice and Orlando twice.
Yep.
So as we record this show next Monday, what shall their record be? What do you think it should be? Will be.
So I think they split. So it'll be 2-2.
Are they
Cleveland
win?
gave them,
Are they gonna win tonight though?
I think they win tonight. I mean, I know it's in a close game now. We won't give a score because we said we're not going to give another out there, but it is a close game right now. But I think they split between Cleveland and Orlando. Cleveland gave them fits last year. Orlando's gave them fits the last few years. But Orlando's legit. We can no longer say that's a bad loss. Can't say that. Like them.
I mean,
those,
if we both assume that they're going to win, the game today against the Pacers, they go 3-2. They're 18-6 through 24 games.
yeah, and that would be great. I still think you need to add a piece. Once again, I like what Kata has done. Sam Hauser has been very stable in the backup wing role. But I just feel like whether you're going to give it to Jordan Walsh, whether you're going to give it to Jay Davis has been fucking hooping in the G League as well. So something's got to give. I said Pritchard's been in closing lineup, so I don't know. Maybe it's the best for guys to develop and go from there. But I still feel like you need another piece off the bench that could be stable, and so
Yeah, I guess we talked about this now for a couple of weeks. Has it become more apparent to you what type of player that should be?
Yeah, I still think it's another big. But knowing Brad, it'll be a wing. Which is fine. It's fine. I mean, that's how he breaks things down. I was high on Brissett early on, but Brissett has done nothing since the first few weeks of the season. So I don't need another cheerleader. Like, we had that and some other players in years
Unless
past.
it's Blake.
Yeah, this is Blake, right? This is Blake. Even then, Blake played in like 40 games last year. It started, he started a few games. So that's the case. But yeah, I'm out on Brissett. They had not given Lamar Stevens a chance. I don't know why. Especially when you sign him for $4 million. Like, I feel like you should give him some type of run. But yeah, maybe they package. Something tells me they're gonna gun for Alex Caruso in Chicago. So it might take Stevens, Brissett, JD Davison, and like a second round, a few second round picks. I would do that in a heartbeat.
I can tell you, it sounds like you're happier about how bad the Patriots are doing than about how good the Celtics are doing. Like, you seem a little bit more down.
It's because not even one out. I know what the end goal is, so it's like I'm not gonna be overly excited right now about this. Once again, I'm glad they're playing well. I'm glad that they're working out certain nuances of the game. Great. I'm ready for April. And once again, we know what they're gonna do in the regular season because we've seen it. So how you feel about the Bruins is how I feel about the Celtics. We done seen them get there. It's time. It's time. It's time. You know where I was going with that. It's time.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna stop it. We're not gonna stop on anyone's head. But actually, you know what? We may need to. We may need to get a little nasty and stumble some heads on the Winston chair. I changed my mind. We might need to do that. So, for those that know that call back there, if you know, you know.
What a great callback. And I really know how to follow that. So,
yeah.
For my guy, Hollywood Ray Sean, this has been Mike Marcangelo saying thank you so much for listening to MTP Boston. Stay tuned for the Power Ranking show this week, and we'll talk to you lovely bastards next week.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go, get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.